It's all about love, appreciation, and celebrating the women out there, but you're equally important. Thank you for choosing the National Broadcaster, coming to you live from Broadcast House, Nile Avenue. Well, today, it's all about how to take good care of yourself when it comes to nutrition, and how can you manage stress and anxiety. Well, certain things that are always a part of us as we carry on with activities. Regardless what you do, it just gets to you, it attacks you. But you can live a purposeful life and put your best foot forward. My name is Sandra Kahunde, welcoming you for today's episode. And I'm happy to be joined by Martha Watenga. She's a doctor here to give us more insight when it comes to wellness and how come she's right there and she's staying, not thinking of doing something else. Maybe putting on my shoes and trying out media. She's here, she's a guest, and she's here to be an inspiration to many of you, because right here as a national broadcaster, we are here to inspire you. Martha, good to have your company.
Thank you very much, Sandra.
I'm really excited because there's really a lot we eat.
Right.
At times we get too selfish. Some, when it comes to managing your stress, the appetite grows. And whatever you see around, you just want to grab and bite. Yeah, some of those simple mistakes that we tend to make in life.
Yes.
But now that we have you as an expert, I'm sure by the end of the episode, we shall be best placed right. Martha, tell us more about you.
Well, thank you, Sandra, for having me on the business through ICT and technology. Well, today it would be about health. My name is Dr. Martha Watenga. I am a homeopathic wellness doctor. I am a colon hydrotherapist as well as a clinical massage therapist. And right now I have a Renaissance Wellness Clinic that I founded recently that is located in Ntinda. So that is a brief description about me. I studied all these kinds of alternative medicine in Toronto, Canada, and made that big decision to come and teach these skills to the community, because as you said, we are becoming too greedy and eating everything, and it's bringing a lot of disease in the community. So yes, that is my...
You simply went to study. Didn't you get tempted to stay? To stay in Canada?
Well, Canada has its ups and downs, to be honest. It's not all that you see on TV that is portrayed. There is a lot that goes on behind the scenes, like for example, having to work day in, day out, having to get more than one job to survive. It's tough, it's really tough. And so, yeah, there's a lot of that came into my mind for me to say, you know what, I am coming back home. And also it's because I had a goal to really improve the health of the community, basically bring a whole renaissance, a whole culture that we have abandoned of us as black people to live healthy. Yes.
And you're a perfect doctor. Sounds cool, eh? What is it all about?
Well,
do I have to be closer to sciences to really shine and stand out to be?
Not at all. Even, for example, a saloonist, can learn about homeopathy. Homeopathy is a herbal approach to healing. Of course, you have to have a passion in healing, a passion of caring for others in order to be a good homeopathic doctor. It's an approach of herbal medicine that focuses on treating the body as a whole, the mind, the body, and the soul, as compared to Western medicine, for example, which treats the body on certain symptoms, Yes, so that's what homeopathy does. It is a very famous form of healing in the Western world, in Europe, in Germany, in India. It's very famous, and it's like a second alternative, especially for certain conditions that Western medicine has not yet figured out a way to, to solve. So, yeah, that's basically what homeopathy is.
How are they related? There's, you said colon cleaning.
Right.
Then therapy as well, massage. It's a whole package. Am I supposed to be all that?
No, actually it's because I had a lot of passion in really figuring out as many forms of healing naturally as possible. Because I personally had a urinary tract infection for over 10 years that I contracted while in high school here. And I kept on getting antibiotics from time to time, feeling better, and then it comes back in full swing. And I was really not comfortable with that. I reached a point when I was studying in Canada. I actually was doing civil engineering initially. And then I got to a point where I was bedridden and really in the hospital, and they said, you know what, you have to do a certain kind of operation. I was like, what? First of all, where will I get that money as an international student to,
and there was nowhere it would sound like a urine infection would lead to such an operation.
Exactly. I was really beaten. As a young girl, how am I already having these kinds of problems? So that's when I opted for a natural healing solution, also because it was really cheaper than, you know, opting for that operation. And, you know, surprisingly true, it took away that up to date, I don't have that kind of infection. So that's what got me to be curious about all kinds of existing. I really wish I could have done all kinds of natural healing, but it doesn't stop. You know, there's always something happening, something new to learn every day. Even the best of doctors will tell you that, you know, it's always something new that you're learning. Yeah, so you do not have to take specifically massage.
That is like learning when it comes to the human body, because you have to cater for both the male and the female.
Right, right.
Well, you talked about antibiotics and that particular infection that keeps occurring, occurring all the time. You realize, as some people experience it monthly, it is something that really attacks them. What could be the problem? Is it because of the antibiotics that it kind of hides in the body?
Not even. It's because of our diets. We are eating very poorly. We are eating processed foods a lot. We are eating a lot of sugars. You know, sugars are things that feed on the fungus in the body, you know, and so you end up having a fungus overgrowth, getting things like candida. Women get things like hair loss, infertility issues. So an infection is just really a small of the many, you know, results of eating badly, right? Definitely antibiotics is one thing that you automatically get when you go to a hospital, because these antibiotics kill the good and the bad bacteria, but they also have their side effects, because like I said, while it's killing the good bacteria, the bad bacteria, it's also killing that good bacteria that would really help feed the intestinal walls, that would help with improving digestion. So someone will end up getting things like gas, bloating, constipation, heartburn, you know, all as a result of maybe certain side effects of antibiotics. Yeah, so while antibiotics would give a relief and really help, you know, from a certain kind of infection that you're battling with, it would be good to also put back in some good bacteria. Yes.
Okay, so what are some of those common cases that you count on a daily for those that walk into your clinic and, you know, need those services? What are those common cases, depending on both sexes?
Definitely weight gain. Many people are obese, and I think you can see that, you know, even in this room probably someone has a very big stomach and, you know, the waistline is definitely not complying with everywhere else in the body. That already shows you that there is a lot of waste, you know, that someone is carrying. So obesity, and of course it's giving room to disease like hypertension, heart disease, diabetes. Yeah, there are really certain complications that really the Ugandan community is now, you know, it's like their second name. You know, someone will tell you, oh, I'm diabetic. It's even now like a cool thing to say, I'm diabetic, I have a sweet tooth. You know, it's now normalized, and yet it's not supposed to be that way, you know. So definitely, yes, we do get a lot of such kinds of patients that we work closely with. And, you know, healing naturally takes time. It's not a sure process. So someone losing maybe as many as 2 kilograms a week, that's a lot to us, but people want an immediate, you know, kind of like silver pill, such that immediately they are like, wow, I look amazing now. I have this hourglass body now. I have this amazing skin now. No, it takes time. So those are the kinds of patients that we work with. Yes, to basically improve their kind of lifestyle. We advise them on what's right to eat. We give them dietary prescriptions. We encourage them to do exercise, you know, the lifestyle.
And that will take me like a whole month.
Right. And
keeping away from the chocolates.
Yes, yes.
Like a month would do for someone? Or it depends on...
It would depend on someone's age, someone's devotion. It really takes a lot of discipline, you know. If you're used to living a certain kind of lifestyle, maybe you're working in a certain place where you can't eat fresh fruits and vegetables, you just have to opt for the fastest foods available and, you know, keep back on your busy sedentary lifestyle. You know, of course, it really varies, and you can't tell with nature. Nature takes its sweet time. It can take as quick as 1 hour for instant healing to take place. It can also take years.
So what happens to me is always snacking, especially if I get stressed.
Yeah, actually, eating is actually like a mechanism for stress, because people want to forget that stress and live in the moment of, okay, let me eat this too. It kind of gives that cushioning, but it's temporary. After eating that kind of snack, guess what? The stress that you've been hiding from is actually still facing you. So have you faced that stress? No. You know? So stress management is another thing that really needs to be addressed. You can't be stressed and opt for eating everything that is that is available, because at the end of the day you're building disease instead of focusing on what that problem is. Yeah, sometimes I'll tell you, practicing deep breathing is some way to really go through your stress, because a lot of times we are on a fast-paced world.
Regardless the hour of the day, for me to practice.
Yeah, anytime, just, you know, get off your busy schedule. Oh my God, I have to do this, and just say, okay, you breathe in, you breathe out. Just doing that alone will align you properly to say, okay, this is what has happened, maybe I can do this. This is what has happened. You know, you start getting small kinds of solutions that you can patch together to eventually address the kind of stress that you are facing. Of course, there are some stresses that are chronic, you know, and a lot of times actually it's chronic stress. Maybe, oh my God, how am I going to afford school fees for my children? I have to parent. I have to, you know, a lot of times it's financial. It's a financial trigger.
That brings out
that
the
stress.
Anxiety and the stress with the patients that you've encountered.
Right. So that deep breathing that I mentioned, of course, finding ways that you as a person can adopt to, you know. Doing exercise, for example, is another way of relaxing your nervous system, relaxing your, you know, that kind of fight or flight mode, and, you know, kind of relaxing your mind to restore back to, you know, yeah.
So for someone who comes to your clinic, it doesn't necessarily have to be like, you know, some people, should I say it's an addiction? At least they have to prescribe something, at least a tablet or a vitamin tablet for me to go away with. Is it about the session? You have to listen to this patient, get to understand what is really up to them, maybe the exercises or the breathing in and out and relaxation itself, not necessarily getting the tablets.
Yeah, and I'll tell you for a fact, many people are used to going to a hospital and they need something to go back home with. Otherwise, they feel like you've wasted their money, you know, for not giving them anything. I'll give an example of high cholesterol. This is basically fat deposits that your liver has failed to, you know, to break down. And if you just change your diet, cut back on those fatty foods, Ugandans, for example, you know how the Ugandans love their meat, especially these men. And these meats are things that can't be digested in the body because they don't have the fiber. So what are they going to do? They are going to stay in the body there and cause certain problems. But telling them, hey, listen, the actual truth, hate it or love it, is that you just need to change your diet. There is no magical medicine that I'm going to give you here. That is
at least have meat once a week.
At least have meat once a week. Especially for someone who is taking it daily. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, they are snacking on some pork from
as soon as you say beans in my house, you know I'm really bankrupt. That's what they say.
Yeah, and there's that kind of illusion of, you know, if you're eating a lot of meat, then you're rich. So obviously men want to keep up with that kind of standard. But what is it bringing in the long run? You know, things like erectile dysfunction are things that are a result of that too much eating of, you know, excessive consumption of
Does
meat,
it also get to affect the bloodstream? Like someone has lots of fats in the bloodstream?
Yeah, That's when you
Is that the
see
result
issues
of eating too much meat?
Yeah. People with like varicose veins, people with atherosclerosis. All these are things that it's like a constipation, you'll say,
In the
blood.
system.
Yes, in the bloodstream or in the blood vessels or in whichever organ it can be that is presenting with that kind of condition. Yeah, which is why we really
Okay,
preach.
so as we start off today and start off this week, what do we need? What do I have to eat? Okay, personally, what do I have to eat?
Personally, you can start your day with taking a lot of water. When your body has slept for maybe 8 hours or 7 hours, no matter how long really, it has gone through some kind of
or what I
lukewarm.
would prefer?
And don't do the cold, because the cold toxifies the liver.
That early morning.
That early morning. Start with some water. Don't start with katogo. Yeah? And we know as Ugandans, we love posho and beans, we love our matoke, but these are all starchy foods. At the end of the day, they are turning into fats that are being stored in the liver, that are being stored in the gallbladder. They are turning into sugars, you know. Someone will start saying, especially women, they complain of cellulite. Hey, my hips are over, my stomach is, you know, all these are because they are now stored fats that couldn't be that have not been used. And people don't want to exercise, so there is no way to burn those calories off. So start your day with some water. After that, if you have no ulcers or any kind of disease that, you know, worsens from taking lemons, because vitamin C is another very strong vitamin that people underestimate. You saw the time of COVID, people were starting to take a lot of lemons, oranges, making dawa teas, ginger. Those are all things that have vitamin C. But after COVID, everyone is now lying back, relaxing, you know. Why not be in a position where you are training your body to be in a certain lifestyle, such that when the worst scenario happens, or a pandemic, or what, your body has the strongest immunity to fight whatever is coming forth. Yeah.
So that is for the morning and maybe my breakfast. So for a meal?
For a meal,
I want to have all the colors right on my plate.
Right.
Yes, I want to have the white posho and a bit of brown rice and then the matoke. I want to have it all colored.
Now, if you're talking about the bright colors, we're talking about a rainbow. Is posho a rainbow color?
So my plate is supposed to be a rainbow.
Yes. Put some cabbages, those purple cabbages. Put some carrots. Put some green pepper. And sometimes also eat some raw foods. Have somewhere where you're eating some raw foods. Raw foods, immediately, in like minutes, you know, it's digesting in the body, as compared to cooked foods, which is so overloading for the body to digest. So after one typical Ugandan meal, you just feel like so tired. You're not looking forward to that day, you know. And yet food is supposed to fuel you and not to vice versa, you know. So if you're eating, eat healthy. Not saying that you should now stop posho, you should stop matoke.
When the doctor said we keep away from posho.
Yeah, that
and then we do away with it.
At least if you're eating it, opt for some healthier, maybe flour, because the typical flour that is used is bleached. So the fiber in it has been robbed off. There is totally no fiber. And remember, your colon needs fiber in order to release. Your eliminatory organ needs to work and function.
So if my best dish is posho and beans, honestly speaking, what should I put? Like supplements or something?
Put some vegetables.
I fill it with vegetables.
Yeah, posho, beans, put some vegetables. And if your plate is maybe round, do half vegetables, half of the plate. Either steamed or raw, or, you know, partially boiled. At least those vegetables will definitely help to keep pushing and, you know, give that ravage. Yeah.
So there's nothing like the economy and whatnot. At least it's affordable. It's an affordable meal.
No, yeah. In fact, the poorer.
Because they'll be like, come on, this doctor, those things are for the uptown,
Hey,
to put into
there is no way carrots are expensive. You can even grow them in your own garden. Uganda is so blessed that you can grow your own food.
Yeah, but things have been expensive, especially the onions. You'd want to add fresh onions. really been expensive and very scarce.
Well, those fresh onions that you're going to buy, isn't it better than you avoiding take those onions and guess what? You have to go to a sick bed and pay how much a day eventually. Right? So you have to weigh and see what's better to invest in. Saying that, Kanagi, let me put this extra 2,000 in these carrots, in these onions, in these expensive tomatoes, in this, you know. So whatever it is being expensive, but it pays off. I can tell you that. Yeah, it pays off. So let's pay attention to our foods.
Please keep watching. Don't run away, because I know when it comes to doctor talk, you're like, At Brishimu, they are telling us to leave. We are here to celebrate Martha. She's a doctor standing out wellness and giving us more tips when it comes to how to manage ourselves and love our bodies and appreciate each other. Don't run away. Just breathe in, a sigh of relief. Enjoy your day, like she earlier on explained.
Right, right.
Some of those mistakes that we tend to make, especially when it comes to our meals and choosing right on what to eat best, as well as the fluids that we take on a daily, because they say, but what are you supposed to be drinking at the end of the day? There's drinking, I've been told to drink. As long as I'm taking in a bit of liquid, I am drinking. What are some of those mistakes that we tend to make?
One of the mistakes.
And I want it to go to both sexes.
Both male and female?
Yes.
One of the mistakes is that people are doing too much soda. And then they are saying, they're counting it as what? As liquid of the day. Hey? Soda is nice, but then those preservatives in it. Hey? Too much carbon dioxide. Too much sugars. If you're to check in the labels of these kinds of juices, commercial drinks, I won't mention any, of course we know them, you know, on the shelf life in supermarkets and shops. If you're to read, of course the front of it looks appetizing, maybe they've put an orange and drips of juice, and it looks so, you know, so good for you to want to take there and then. What about the back of it that gives the true information about it, per serving, amount of calories in it, amounts of nutrients in it? You'll see that there are actually minimal or no nutrients in it per serving. So you're just taking something that is pretty much full of artificial additives, preservatives to maintain the shelf life, sugar. And then at the end of the day, you'll start wondering, why am I having this hair loss? Why am I having dementia? I'm not having concentration issues. I'm having concentration issues. I'm having, you know, certain things that you start wondering, you know? So while they are good and they give you that kind of glucose rise, so you start feeling energetic for a certain time period, but what is it doing to your body? So you need to put in juices that give you nutritional value. That way, people have a problem with taking water. They say water has a weird taste, it's boring. Hey, how can I take all this water a day? 6 to 8 glasses, how? Yeah? But you can always get that water from juices. You make your nice watermelon, pawpaw, pineapple juice. It tastes good, it gives you the sugars, the carbohydrates you need, the energy you need, while at the same time you're getting the water that you want, that you need for your body, you know. So there are really many ways to eat healthy and enjoy it and be comfortable with it, really. And you start seeing the benefits from your body, such that by the time you get off juices for a time period. I've had some patients get off juices because they're like, I'm now comfortable with how I am. I'm having the perfect weight. I'm having the good skin. No pressure, no what. But when they go back and, you know, start their old...
So like at least one can do in 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before you know it, you're getting back to your old...
Thank you. And guess what? You're starting to now feel tired more. You're starting to get those headaches more, back pain, I tell what, you know. Your menstrual cycles are starting to go back to how they used to be, maybe, you know, menstruating 7 days or even more, which is not supposed to be what? It shows that you're losing a lot of blood. So, yeah, that's how you can really just get used to eating healthy. Make it a part of your lifestyle. Don't treat it like a program of 1 month. After this 1 month, I'm now going to do whatever I want to do. No, it shouldn't be like that.
I will not go back to Dr. Martha for a while, so let me do my usual meals. Okay, celebrating women out there. We cannot leave the show without talking about the children. The women are caregivers, the nurturers out there. As we speak about the males and the females, what to do right when it comes to our health and eating right. How about the children, the ones that we nurture? Because I mean, they want to do more of chicken, you know, mommy this, mommy that. How can we really make them adopt to a good timetable when it comes to meals?
First of all, parents, it's very okay not to give your children sweets. It is so okay. Don't feel like you're so selfish. Don't feel like, Bambi, now she's crying, because it is so okay. What you're doing for them, they will understand in a few years to come. And you also talk to them and say, you know what, if you take this sweet, it's going to bring, you know, it's going to make your teeth look like a monster. Because realistically it does. You'll see some kids already have teeth that are, you know, that are looking really horrible at a young age. As early as 6, they are eating sweets, so many sweets, candies, what, you know, and educate them and guide them, because also with time you start seeing kids become hyperactive, and it's a result of eating all these sweetened stuff, all these sodas. Those are not functioning well for a brain that is just developing. It's very vulnerable, so it will definitely become weakened, and you'll start seeing kids really becoming too hyperactive, and already starting to take medications that they really shouldn't be taking. Kids also taking a lot of ice cream. You know, they really like all these sugary things, because as kids, when you actually, even as old people, when we crave sugary things, it shows that we are craving some love, we are craving nurturing. That is why, as you earlier discussed, when you get stressed, you look for something to snack on. That's the same thing that happens with kids, actually, you know, generally. Because that sugar gives us that temporary nurturing, that temporary love, you know, that temporary attention. So we can always talk to our children and say, you know what, maybe they've experienced bullying at school, and they feel so low about themselves, and you know, there's just unconsciously start craving these kinds of sweet things. Talk to your children, actually find out how they are doing mentally, how they are doing emotionally, you know, and make them used to taking certain things like carrot juice, like green juices. I know some parents feel like, they shouldn't start taking those things at a young age. No, there is no limit, there is no beginning. It is actually much better, because they grow up getting used to those kinds of foods. Once they grow up, imagine a kid that has been eating healthy from a young age. Those kids, you even should fear them. Those are the better tomorrow. They are ones that are going to make a difference, right? It's a whole revolution that we are going through. So it begins at home. Yeah, we get a lot of patients who have kids who are very constipated as early as 6 years. You know, that shows you that as a parent, you need to really revise their diet. There's a lot of freedom going on these days.
It's stylish. I need to do like what the other mama does. My baby wants this. How can I make them, you know, first life like this? We never had that growing up. All we do was skuma wiki and ugali. So I need to give them a better life.
But is that really better life for them in the long term? You know, actually, you find people who are living in low living standards. Those children are thriving so much better, because they do not have access. At this point, thank God, they do not have access to this money to, you know, afford these kinds of ice creams, afford these kinds of, you know, foods that are really deteriorating our health and causing degenerative disease at a very young age.
Okay, I'll take you back to school. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. One has a budget, and all they will do is black tea and nuts.
Right.
What is really the best way to start your day away from the lukewarm water that you talked about?
Why not take some fruits? Actually, this is one thing I want to caution schools
I'll do my chapati and my black tea. That's what I can afford.
Well, first of all, that black tea it's something good, but to start your day with it, in most cases, that black tea is caffeinated. Caffeine is something that stimulates the blood vessels, you know. Especially for people with pressure, actually, they shouldn't even be thinking of, they should really minimize, I'll say, their coffee consumption. But that's a story for another day. Now, back to these people of breakfast. They should, I think fruits are not expensive. Some fruits actually in the gardens of schools, for example. And that's another thing that schools should encourage, especially boarding schools, is that let them get their children to eat more fruits. They're having science lessons, they're teaching them it's right to eat these foods, but why not also practice? So that the children actually see physically that yes, practically, we need to actually eat healthy. It just doesn't stop on the notes and passing exams to know that, you know, it's right to eat these proteins, these, you know. So opt for eating some kinds of fruits. That would be a better option, definitely, than
starting with G nuts.
Yeah.
Or chapati.
G nuts
and
have a lot of fats, so much fats. Actually, people who have high blood pressure, they should also minimize G nuts as well. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And opt for some kinds of healthier nuts like cashew nuts, almonds. People complain that they're a bit expensive, but like I said, what's worth it in the long term?
Instead of going and at the end of the day you're bedridden and pay much more.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I start my day with the G nuts plus a cup of black tea, and then I'll not eat anything else throughout the entire day because I am saving, and then get back home. We do one meal together as a family. Then we eat ourselves up in the night, straight to bed.
Yeah, that's actually how it is ideally, even though it's really not supposed to be like that. But also maybe people should, especially people with certain diseases like ulcers, overwhelming your body with a whole meal just because you want to eat that meal and it's the only meal for the day. And you're like, now you're like a hyena. Yeah? You should at least opt for smaller amounts of food, such that even if you're eating 3 times a day, that same amount of meal that you would have eaten once a day, it's so much easier for your body to break down and you're not overwhelming it. And because if you overwhelm your body with a lot of foods, it will say, you know what, I'm going to digest what I can, what I cannot, it will stay there. And guess where the flabby bellies come from? Because
the next day you're going to add.
Thank you.
Top up.
And the problem is that people are not eliminating because they've had this chapati. That is, again, like I said, having no flour.
So at the end of the day, when they come to you, they keep topping up. So the fats keep piling up.
Yeah.
So that's when the colon cleaning comes in.
That's when the colon hydrotherapy.
How is it done naturally, or maybe at the clinic?
Okay, so the colon hydrotherapy it's a special equipment that has been kind of modernized. It's actually pretty much ancient day enemas. I'm not sure if in your family, for example, you'd practice enemas, but it has really existed for thousands of years, even before Western medicine came into existence. Practicing of enemas has been used by the Greeks, by the ancient Egyptians, to, you know, to, let's say, instantly take away fevers, worms, constipation, things like that. And so what we do, the colon hydrotherapy, is basically a modern kind of enema, just that it, for example, it has a few differences. The enema, you put in water in the gut for like maybe 5 to 8 minutes, for as long as you can really hold. And then after that, you rush to the toilet and, you know, release
all the dirt.
Not all. Pretty much the lower bowel segment of your colon. Yeah, your colon is a very large and long muscle and can retain.
So it requires you to do such an exercise, or maybe you practice the colon cleaning monthly?
Yeah, ideally you would want to do it monthly, but also if you're doing it for the first time, the colon hydrotherapy, we encourage to do it like back to back, such that whatever toxins have not been able to come out in the previous treatment are able to come out. Because if you also take your time, those toxins can also hide. They are like, you know what? We have survived. Let us go to a deeper level where the where the water won't find us. And they hide there bulungi. So we encourage for the first time really someone to do aggressive kinds of cleansing with the colon hydrotherapy, so that they really appreciate.
So it's not like, it's not painful?
It's not painful.
People perceive it to be?
Yes, it is not painful. It is actually relaxing. It is therapeutic. It's maybe just that 1 second of putting the tube in the rectum, of which I will be honest with you. Like I said, what is worth it in the long run? Many men actually have a problem of doing it because of that stigma of like, I'm putting something in my, in my anal area. Oh my God, and so
it's more women that go for it.
It's
and
more women that
usually
go for
do it
it,
even for the children when they have the constipation.
Yes, it's more women and men who wait for the alarming symptoms to occur, like they have not eliminated. That's when they think of coming.
And maybe at some age bracket, they're like, I really need it.
But I'll tell you for a fact, we all need this colon hydrotherapy.
Even for the children?
Even for the children, but the children they're still having very energetic digestive systems.
It's just about changing their diet.
Yes. I wouldn't encourage children, honestly, to have to do that colon cleansing. It's just them to change. They have a very strong digestive system that can really, with putting the right foods, they're working fantastic. But for the old people, the digestive system starts slowing down as you start aging. So it will be, helpful to also help your digestive system to get rid of some, so that it can also pick up the pace.
You talk about aging. One can relax and be like, why? After all, I'm not yet 50, or I'm not yet 55. When you talk about aging, others would definitely relax.
Right.
So what is the right age to at least go for such checkups?
I'll say, if you're having a diet that you know for sure is not the best, then start as early as 25 even. Start as early as 25. Don't wait, boy. I'm now 50. Now it's time for me to do this, do that. No, like I said, certain things should be a part of your lifestyle. And I'll tell you for a fact, after doing the colon hydrotherapy, we have patients who say, I was even planning to go and eat, I was planning to go and eat some nice fast food, some nice takeaway, but the way I feel so clean and light, I'm going to put in something that my body deserves, So it's rewarding, it's appreciating and satisfying to see how we appreciate ourselves when we are healthy. You really have that task to at least do your best to see that you are contributing further to that.
Someone you have to really keep giving when it comes to that.
Definitely.
What's interesting about your field? Because I know maybe a lady out there was watching and like, can I really stand out and be like Martha? What is interesting about your field?
What is interesting is the way you see people become happy just from what you're doing. That already is a satisfaction, Just seeing how you're able to change someone's kind of lifestyle. Someone will say, oh my God, I was not able to have a child, for example. And thanks to your guidance on dietary and doing all this cleansing, I now have my child. There is nothing more satisfying than that, So if there is any woman out there who is passionate about helping people, about, getting satisfaction from that kind of field, then definitely I think healing naturally would be a good kind of thing that they can look into, And if people want to ask about natural healing, because it's not so common here as compared to in the developed countries, then definitely I'm happy to, to give some kind of advice and insight into that kind of field.
Maybe just a little bit more about the services. You never know, someone could have tuned in a little bit late. Just reminding them of the services that you offer and how they can locate you, maybe for training or more tips.
Right. So the name of the clinic is called Renaissance Wellness Services Clinic. It's located in Ntinda, Matters Crescent Road. We offer a variety of wellness services, one of them being colon hydrotherapy, clinical massage therapy, physiotherapy, clinical massage, homeopathic medication, yoni steaming, earwax candling, and so many more in the future to come. Yeah, those are the services that we offer. Yes.
Like, are you all over the socials? Someone can easily get a hold of you?
Yes, we are. We are on Instagram at Nutri Wellness Uganda, on Twitter as Renaissance Wellness, and then I can put the contact
Yeah, feel free.
information. It's 075 77. You know what? I'll have to confirm on that. I'll have to confirm on that. But if people want to reach out directly, they can call me on 0761 811 246. That is my personal number.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope they got it correctly. 077
0761 811 246.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. How come you're still there for all these years and you're serving? I know there's a bit of fulfillment and satisfaction at the end of the day when your patients stand up and you're able to tell the good stories that come through with it and the testimonies. How come you're still there? What fuels you?
What fuels me is the fact that it doesn't keep, it never has an end. There is no limit. Yeah. It's, you know, it's like you're,
the more you see us crave for the sweet, the oily, and
the more it makes me feel like I need to dig deeper. That no, you can't take these things. Yeah, yeah, that's really what keeps pushing me. And to really see the rise of diseases that shouldn't even be happening in the first place. You know, the cancers, the diabetes, the pressure. That you're seeing someone as young as 6 years obese. Those are things that have me like, Dr. Martha, we have so much work to do, at least to play a role with reducing this. Yes.
Okay. I want you to pour out your heart to the women who are watching you this morning.
Women, you play a very significant role. Never should you ever feel insignificant. Never should you ever feel low. But if you do, it is also normal. It's part of the process. Just keep on, keep on doing what you are doing. To become a woman is already, to be a woman is actually already a big accomplishment for you. So just find your purpose and invest in it. Really put your all in it, and the sky would be the limit for you. But above all, be healthy, because you do not want to do certain kinds of obligations and tasks, and you're having pains, and you're having certain things that really shouldn't be called for in the first place. So eat well, take care of your beloved ones, invest in what you really love. Invest in what you really love. And if there's anyone out there who is passionate about healing naturally, if there's anyone who is interested in figuring out more about the services that I offer, then definitely do reach out. Yes. But above all, get your sleep. This applies now to women and to men. Get your sleep. People rest, relax. It's very important for your systems. Those who are looking to become younger, who want to look beautiful, the trick is in sleeping. Drink a lot of water, like I mentioned earlier. Eat healthy. Do exercise. You do not have to be sitting all the time in your job and then go to your car, go home, and then go to a chair, sit down. No, do some kind of moving, dance, jog, swim, I don't know. Do whatever kind of movement really takes for you to be a healthier self, because doing that alone will relieve you of constipation, both of the mind, of the gut, of any kind of organ, really, of your body. So with that being said, yeah, I really wish you the best. And yeah, as a woman, you have everything under control.
Well, beautiful words are coming from Dr. Martha Watenga. I know she will definitely pour out her heart when it comes to health and the women.
Right.
And the good thing, she's giving out the locations on how you track her to get more tips. A few minutes at the top of the hour, I would love to stay and talk a little bit more, but I know we shall have an opportunity to have you once again.
Definitely. I'm sure there's a lot.
Maybe just for the young women out there who are trying to figure it out, and they would love to specialize and stand out like you and help the society. You said I can be a salonist. to beauty or something else and still turn out to be as a homeopathic doctor?
Yeah. You still can be able to.
One wants to take it on a professional beat or specialize in it. Before we let you go, just maybe sharing something with them.
Okay, well,
how come you left engineering? The passion? Okay, away from the cameras, we shall have that conversation.
So which one should I answer first?
Someone wants to stand out and
okay.
Especially.
Now, because in Uganda, homeopathy is not regulated yet, there are also teachers that are actually teaching homeopathic medication, which really made me so happy. Because now I was like, why didn't I even now come back to Uganda and, you know, support my own and study here? But that's something I found out when I came back. There's a board of, it's actually a board of Uganda Herbal Association. There are specific doctors that have studied in India homeopathic medication and are actually teaching Ugandans. So if there's any Ugandan out there who wants to learn the basics of homeopathy, for example, how to treat maybe their baby who has colic or maybe some kind of flu, something that can actually be treated at home from the basic knowledge that they may have acquired from homeopathy, then yeah, I think that would definitely interest them. It's very exciting. Like I said, homeopathy is healing the body as a whole. You know, we're taking into account every kind of mental, emotional, physical. It's beautiful, I'll say. For example, you'll have some kind of mental stress. Maybe you've been divorced. I'll give an example. You've been divorced and now your body is not taking that at all. Even though you're trying to mask it and look very okay in the community, like, okay, it's okay. I got this under control. Your organs somewhere there are suffering and have taken the burden of that stress. So eventually you'll find that you're having maybe some kinds of colitis, some kind of inflammatory disease going on, you know, somewhere. It depends wherever is weaker for the body to, you know, for that disease to feed on and cripple on. So yeah, that's the beauty of homeopathy. So we take into all kinds of symptoms. Someone may think we are being nosy and trying to find out someone's whole lifestyle, because we ask a lot of questions like, so what makes you feel better? When this kind of stress happened, how did it leave you feeling? What, you know, we ask so many things, and for us to eventually say, this is your remedy, perfectly suited for you, it took a lot for us to figure out the person's whole health history in just maybe 1 or 2 hours, you know? So yeah, it's homeopathy is I would say it's the future. It's the future, and I'm hoping eventually we can work with doctors closely, such that it's also offered in hospitals as a second kind of alternative, in addition to maybe some kind of prescription that a doctor has given them. They can say, you know what, also take this homeopathic advice and medication.
So for now, there's good reception, especially with other medical practitioners.
Yes.
And the Ugandans at large.
Yes, definitely.
Amazing. Well done.
Thank you very much.
And congratulations. Wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
And to you, my dear viewer, equally important, a great inspiration, Martha, Dr. Martha Watenga. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Greetings to the people at the clinic.
Yes, I surely will, and I'll wait.
You want to spread some love? Would you love to spread some love?
Oh, I'm so happy to spread some love. I am sending you love. I am sending you the best of the best, and good vibes and good energy and peace and love and healing. Yeah, and divine energy, really. I wish you all the best. And thank you so much for listening as well.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you so much for watching today's episode. My name is Sandra Kahunde, and our guest for the day, Great Inspiration, as we're celebrating Dr. Martha Watenga. And to you, our dear viewer, for always tuning in and choosing the national broadcaster. Wish you a beautiful day. God bless you, and we love you.